All right, I think I'm streaming. Let's see. All right, yes, I am. 20 something seconds in. Black screen. Let me get this on the screen real quick. How's everybody doing? It's been a long time. I am not back. I'm just doing this one right here just because of the 200. I'm doing a stream, whether anybody shows up or not, or catches it afterward. But if you're here, smash that like button or wait until the end of the stream. But we're going to catch this right now. Let me put this on the screen. So yeah, you see the title. Noah ate up that field. Y'all got to admit that. Noah ate up the field. Noah ate up that field. No questions asked. He did not leave prisoners. Although I was a little bit incorrect about the world record. Big whoop. And also with him doing that 19.5 yesterday, the day before, depending on when you're watching the stream. But the day before in the semifinals, he did that 19.5, and that really just took away from his ability to do anything here as far as anything faster. But we're about to watch this as he takes away the field. But as I'm doing this, fair use YouTube, fair use Flow Track, fair use NBC Universal, because I'm using them. I'm actually going to mute it. Or NBC Sports, but NBC Universal. I'm using them. Here's Noah Lyles right here. We're going to get to Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. Did y'all really expect Noah to lose? It was people saying that he might not even medal. That don't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever that Noah Lyles cannot medal. Somebody got to get their heads on straight, because they're talking about Noah Lyles can't medal. All right, let's see here. And did anybody see what happened to Shericka Jackson in her race? She kind of tripped, or I don't know what the heck was going on there. But I caught it on the second time seeing it. Everybody's doing their thing. Let's go here. That's Noah Lyles doing his, I think. People are talking about One Piece. I don't like One Piece, so I don't know the whole thing. I thought he was doing something else. But they said it's a Luffy thing. And now Noah Lyles got 4 straight 200-meter world titles. Man, this dude just does not know how to lose in the 200, I guess, except at the Olympics. But other than that, this man does not know how to lose the 200. Like, nothing gets in his way at these major championships outside of the Olympics. Oh, they said the stream is laggy, but hopefully it's going through. And can you all hear me? I think my sound is going through. Just want to make sure. But here we go. Fair use, again, one more time. Fair use YouTube, fair use NBC Sports, NBC Universal, and fair use FlowTac. This is for commentary education. And so on and so forth. Protected under fair use. All right, we are here watching this. Let's skip through here. Oh, wait a minute. We skipped the start of the race. Set. All right. So Noah's getting out hard. I think, oh yeah, let me just pause this right here. I thought that this might have been one of the better setups as far as Noah. And I thought this was a great setup for Kenny as well. I think he had the number 2 pick as far as his lane. Or number 3 pick technically, because Noah had the fastest Lavelle, then it was Kenny. So I'm thinking between going into lane 4 on the inside of Noah or going into lane 8, that was probably his best pick. And I think he frequently is in that lane anyway. I thought it was best for him to run blind instead of behind Noah, because people were telling me, no, he should be behind Noah or behind the other people. And I'm like, nah, Kenny gets in his head too much. So he needs to run under the pressure that people are there. And if they pass him up on the inside, that's good. Because I think he handles it better if somebody is inside of him passing him up versus him just getting somebody to run away from him. So I thought this was a great setup that they had here. Noah's doing what he can on the curve. Lavelle gets out. What did he get, a 10.03 or something like that? He just destroyed everybody else off of that curve. But you don't win the race with the curve. You win it at the finish line. And as we saw with the finish line there, Tebogo didn't have anything. I thought Tebogo and Kenny were the two, as I was discussing with my best friend. Obviously, I didn't do any uploads here, so I wasn't discussing with you all. But I thought Tebogo and Kenny were the two unknown features here. Because I'm like, if they got it, they could get some medals. Kenny could potentially win. If they don't got it, they might be missing out on medals. But I'm like, man, you need two people to fall off instead of just one in order for both of them not to get any medals. And the chances of both of them falling off at the same time and doing really bad, like Tebogo didn't fall off technically, but Lavelle really just ran very well. Congratulations to everybody here. Noah Lyles with 4 200-meter championship titles at the World Championships. 1952. I really still think that he got it in his legs, that he can go faster than that. He ran faster the day before. It was a flat wind now. Yesterday, it was a plus 1.0 meter per second tailwind. So that was a difference, but I don't even really think that was too much of the difference. It was more like he kind of ran it out of his legs. He kind of just ran that out of his legs. So I still think at the slowest he would have went 19.4. It's clear because he kind of ended it off yesterday with the last 25 meters or so where he let off the gas. He said himself 20 meters, but that was a 19.4 right there. Whether that was 19.48, 19.49 or something like that, still, that was his performance. That's what I thought at the worst that he would do if it wasn't the world record or American record. And he did that performance yesterday. So it flipped it around. And good thing he still was able to have enough gas in the tank in order to take this out. But he eats that field. People got out on him. If this was 2019, that gap would have been a lot further. And obviously he would have ran his rounds differently, I'm sure. But he would have had a bigger gap. That would have been a lot harder to make up for. Noah is used to this. He's used to coming from behind. He's used to coming from behind in the 100. Most of his career in the 200 until more recently. He was injured this year. So, of course, hey, he knows that people may be able to get out on him. But he's always going to have that finish. Kenny, once again, tightened up toward the end. Let's see this on that replay that they should have here. That's usually a little bit slower. He tightened up at the end. Kenny is the most dangerous factor here. I didn't think Lavelle had a dangerous factor at all. Of course, Jamaica's always going to pump up their people, but we got to have some analysis here. And here it is. For a second there, I was like, maybe Kenny could have it. But he really couldn't get in front of Noah. I think it was that camera angle. But I'm like, maybe Kenny could have it. But he tightened up again. Look at his shoulders. Shoulders once again. Now let's go over to Melissa Jefferson real quick. Here's Sharika Jackson. Fair use once again. Let me take the audio out. Because they really going to be getting on my case. How y'all doing? I see a lot more people are coming in later. Maybe I should redo that. The 200. We got more people in. Let me give a second for everybody to come in. No, this is not a regular thing. 2026, we going to be back in full force at Head and Shoulders ATR. But for right now, we got this. I still plan on having the go away video, the send off video for Shelly Ann. I might have like a prep one that's 30 seconds or something like send off. Or I might not do it at all. I don't know. But I do plan on doing it. But this is not 2026, so there's nothing guaranteed with anything I'm saying now. But anyway, fair use, again, fair use. A Navia battle almost brought back Jackson, but almost isn't good enough. I want to say this here for you all because I didn't say it. I've been saying it to my friend. I was like, man, I didn't even know I had like the color. I was like, man, dark skin, the navy bluish color. Dina Asher Smith, that's a very good uniform. They differentiated and changed it up from the USA uniform. As you can see, they look very similar. It's more tie-dye-ish all the way through for the USA uniform. But I was like, man, that uniform actually looks really good. The kit, the men and the women. I forgot to comment on Zarnell Hughes' kit. I was like, man, I will actually buy that one. And I'm thinking about seriously buying that kit. The USA uniform looks really good too. I like this one better than that purplish pinstripe type of design. But look, did y'all see what happened to Shericka Jackson during this race? I caught it on the second one, but I noticed the commentators don't necessarily comment on form and whatnot. Even there was a video on Instagram talking about the turnover and whatnot. If y'all allow this race to be slow, Amy Hunt can get a medal. Congratulations to her. But the race, in my opinion, should have been faster. Everybody in the field ran slower the day after than they did the day before, except Jefferson-Wooden. Everybody else ran slower, and they ran a lot slower, by the way. Ty Lue still making teams. Brittany Brown was not looking good in the semis. She barely scraped it through. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she could pull something through, but without a day's rest, it wasn't looking like it. And then Long, she consistently shows up. Let's pass that false start. Let's go here. Okay. Nope, that was the false start. Here we go, the second time around. Now, I'm trying to wait for people to come in. Okay, we still got our people in. So, here's the thing that happened to Shericka Jackson. I am going to stop it. The starter is not holding them as long as it must be a different starter. Okay, we're going to see it at 13.5 seconds. And Melissa Jefferson destroyed the field. Okay, it's about to be 13. Look at her legs. I'm going to slow the speed down. Actually, I should slow it a little bit more than that. Okay, look at what happens to Shericka Jackson. Here's 13.3, 13.5 or so. Something happens, like she trips or something. You see this half a step? She did this before. She did this last season. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's like she had, like she was doing some kind of running drill. So we're going to look at it again. I don't know what was going on. She misstepped, or it didn't even look like a misstep. She just didn't have a full stride at all. She just didn't cycle through. So I'm going to play it at normal speed now. But I'm like, what is going on with Shericka? It's like I'm surprised she didn't trip. Now it looks like we playing it at 2x speed after playing it that slow. After that slow, my eyes are like, is this 2x speed? No, it's normal. So here we go. Dina Asher Smith doing what she can do. She's a great turn runner as well as Shericka. But the fact that Melissa could get off the curve faster than them, that's a bad sign. You got the 100-meter person getting out faster than you. And she reminds me of Justin Gatlin, actually, with her form. Lavelle reminds me of Shericka Jackson. They actually he looks like Shericka Jackson, but a male. Like their form is dang near the same. And Jefferson-Wooden looks like Justin Gatlin as far as the form. So let's play this again, putting all this together. Did anybody expect anything differently? I thought that I didn't really want to comment on it too much, because I even told my best friend, I'm like, I don't know, Shericka might actually pull something through. She is working in that camp, so I don't know, but she just could not pull it through. So Wooden gets out. Ty Lue tries to get out. But here's the thing where you leave it open for Hunt. The race isn't really that fast. Hunt starts digging in through. Anavia Battle has a worse transition than Sharika Jackson. You could see it in her face. Her face is straining already right here. But right after this, it's like she slingshots off, and she's able to put some distance between her and Battle. If that distance wasn't there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there, then Battle likely would have had it. And sometimes you see that happen. After the curve, some athletes appear to slow down compared to the rest of the field, and even sometimes compared to themselves. Battle is one of those athletes where they get off the curve, whatever happens, that transition is not a slingshot. That transition is moving backwards. Let's go to Battle again, where she's very close to her. She moves backwards compared to her and Dina, and then she starts to claw through. But Jefferson-Wooden is not to be touched. And I gotta say, world record watch. Some people are not happy with that, and some people were not happy that I didn't say world record watch on Shelly Ann. I didn't see it. I'm factoring in age. I'm factoring in turnover and form. I'm factoring in the ease of look when all of that comes through. This is world record watch on the 100, 200. I think so. I think that she could get maybe a 21.5 low. I don't think necessarily right now Jefferson-Wooden may have that 21.4 something or 21.3, but her definitely, I see it with her. Okay, my rabbit's starting to chew on something. I definitely see it on her going forward. If she can keep improving, hold on a second, because this rabbit, I gotta get my rabbit. Sorry about that, y'all. But anyway, yeah, if she gets this and able to put this together, then this is going to be one hell of a 200, and this will burn Sharika's rear end if she gets that world record and Sharika does not, and she's still competing. That will burn Sharika's rear end, because she is what, 0.04 away from that world record. In the 100, definitely, I'm going to call it a clear out. She's got years on her left, and she could definitely still get faster. No guarantee, of course. 1061 could be her lifetime best, but no telling. Multiple factors come here. Her age, 1, 2. The tracks could continue to improve. The shoe technology can continue to improve, as we see about every decade or so, or give or take a few years. They continue to improve those. So this world record is getting closer and closer. I mean, FloJo gotta be sweating in the afterlife, looking at one or the other one of her records. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden was the danger I called back there in 2021 or 2022, one of the 2 years. And she has played out. Now, here's one other thing I got to say, because I'm going to have some kind of, series or something that analyzes different coaches' strengths and weaknesses. But I mentioned this in 2021 because that was the year I started Head and Shoulders ATR here. Every single one of the people that I mentioned got injured at some point. I said these athletes need to take off one of these championships because they've never had this many world championships and Olympics in a row. They usually got some kind of off year. They got 5 in a row, I think, from that time. And I said, Elaine, Shelly Ann, somebody should just take one of the seasons off so that they can preserve themselves. Noah Lyles got injured, as you can see this year. Shelly Ann, Sha'Carri. You got, what is that dude? What's his name from Italy? You got Fred Curley. All the people at some point got injured between then and now. It's year after year, season after season that you got to be at peak performance and putting that strain on your body. Our bodies don't typically work like that. And I'm like, look, it would have been better if they just say, look, I'm going to go away. Think about Donovan Brazier. He got injured, and then he didn't even come back the season that he was just already healthy. He just like, look, I'm taking 2. And then he comes back this season, and it's like he never left. He's got a new personal best. And we're going to see what he does in the 800. But I thought that they should have taken off some time and really preserved themselves, because it did bite them in the rear end. Every single one of the people that were around at that time, they winded up getting injured. So this is just something, if there are professional, because I know there's professional camps. We got people from MVP, literal coaches, that watch the channel. We got other people that watch from, that are part of the Diamond League staff and whatnot. We got other people that are South African coaches. I'm not sure for the Olympic team or anything like that. I can't verify that. But we got people here that are watching all over, even with these views being very low. We got people that are here. So just keep this in mind with your athletes. Hey, look, I'm just the guy that's commenting on all of this. But still, as you see with my track record, if you've been here since 2021, whether I upload 20 videos, 40 videos a year, or 5, right? What I'm talking about usually still plays out roughly. I'm not always correct, but at least this one, when it comes to the health of the athletes, because everybody responds to injury differently. You got Dina Asher-Smith, was injury prone, but she still is the #1 British athlete and still can come through with medals year after year, season after season, with the exception of one out of that, maybe 2, I don't know. But most of the time, she's still able to come through and do that. Now she's on the tail end of her career, being older. It's not following through with her too much, but she's still able to make championships. She's an injury prone athlete, a little bit different. When you got athletes that aren't necessarily injury prone, like an Elaine, a Dina, a Bromell, as it appears, he's kind of injury prone. If you don't have those type of athletes, you can still get injured. Sha'Carri got injured, right? Now, I believe that we got robbed from a fantastic 100-meter final last season when they pulled that bogus-ass move and they did not allow Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price and Sha'Carri Richardson to really have a proper warm-up. And I know they got a schedule and everything. I don't know, because when a false start happens, they kind of delay the race anyway, and then you're already delayed like 2 minutes. I don't know what an extra 5, 10, 15 minutes or something like that. Something could have happened where you like, hey, you got this person that's a legend in our sport. You got this person that's they're the world champion, and you can't give them time to warm up to come through there. I believe that Sha'Carri got injured this season because she ran cold that last season. I've run and I've sprinted at as fast as I could when I was not properly warmed up. I've run an 800 when not properly warmed up. And I'm telling you, when you're running at your max ability, especially at something like that, you may not feel it at that moment. But then that injury could come up to you and creep up on you later on. And I believe she got injured now because of what she did at the Olympics and ran through. And what do y'all think about that? Y'all maybe give me your thoughts. But from what I've seen, when people run when they're cold, when they're sprinting, you're sprinting at max ability at a championship race, right? And you're trying to win, and you're not really properly warmed up. Number one, I don't think Julian Alfred would have won that race. That's one. It would have been between Sha'Carri and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. And if it was to what happened the season before, then Sha'Carri would have won. We don't know this one. But I don't think Julian Alfred would have won that race. When I've given it some time to think, and I'm like, nah, both of them were kind of hot. Shelly-Ann was still kind of hot, and Sha'Carri was definitely on a hot seat. And I don't think the fact that she was able to run that quickly, sprint that quickly, I keep saying run, but sprint that quickly, for all intents and purposes, it was a run because she wasn't warmed up. After not having a warm up, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But we got robbed from a fantastic women's 100-meter final in Paris because of their incompetence. That Paris staff's incompetence. They had a whole bunch of weird stuff, like when they was having the Trinity, the dinner The Last Supper, but they had it LBGT and all of that stuff. Like, dude, you don't desecrate people's religious beliefs or anything like that and push your agenda. They had a whole bunch of other things they wanted to push. Apparently, it wasn't to host a proper Olympic Games. That's not what they were looking for. They were looking to push agendas. They weren't looking to push a good thing. Because there was a lot of other stuff that happened in the background that was just off-keel. In other sports, too. I'm focusing on track and field, and I'm focusing on that 100 specifically. But I can go on with other things. They had a bunch of stuff that was just dirty going through. Paris should not host that thing again. Do not give them that mantle. They got to make up for it. Now, when it comes down to this year, we got people injured because it's championship after championship, but also people not being warmed up. Melissa Jefferson has the ability to get that world record in the 100. 200 yet to be seen. Like I said, I think it's more like a 21.5 low from what I'm seeing from her now, because it's kind of deceptive. When people got very good form, it's deceptive how good they can actually sprint, because they can look faster than they are because of how their form is. She got very good form. She looks, like I said, Justin Gatlin form. Justin Gatlin had great form that allowed him to continue running fast toward the end of his career, toward the top twilight. And that's what's going to be with Melissa Jefferson. She could probably stay mostly injury-free while she's young. We're going to see what happens later. Shout out to Talu, continuously making finals and everything. Sharika, congratulations to you on getting the bronze, coming through. Fantastic with Melissa Jefferson being at Strine. Why the heck are you injured? You got nobody to compete against in your country. She's injured but has nobody to compete against. She basically can have an easy win, but she keeps getting injured year after year. She got to get it together. Melissa Jefferson destroyed them. Let's watch this one more time. I'm probably going to sign out here. Rod Benjamin, Warholm, I don't know what the heck happened. He said he got strained in the first hurdle. But when you come off like this and you're looking through here, the reason why I didn't want to say anything with this one too is because on the women's side, 100, 200 meter doubles, as they even put up on the chart, I thought it was rare. Yeah, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price was the last person to do the 1 and the 2 at the World Championships. And let that sink in. She's not really a 200 meter athlete at all. She's like almost a strictly 100. But she can medal in the 2 occasionally. But she's the last person that was able to do it. You couldn't get a lane. That wasn't happening. She could win the 200, but she couldn't win the 1 and the 2. She could win the 1 or the 2. And we don't know what would happen with her because sometimes she'd be injured. So that's the thing. So when we're looking at this, I thought Sharika might have been able to pull it through. But with this move that she pulled here, let's see this in real time. Again, 13.5 seconds. Here's 12, 13.5. Look at she trips up or something over and has like an awkward step. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't even a full stride. It didn't look like she tripped necessarily, even though I just said that. That's funny. Contradicted myself. We're going to slow that down one more time. Like I said, this is going to be on the signing out. But something happened. We're playing it at half speed instead of a quarter speed now. Where she takes a weird half a step right there. Don't know what that was. It didn't look like she tripped on the track like her spike got stuck. But that definitely hurt her momentum. But no excuses. Amy Hunt came through. She did what she did. Hey, people said what they said about Dina Asher-Smith, about other people not showing up. Hey, the rest of the field, if they wanted to go to sleep, Amy Hunt pulled through and she was able to get a silver medal. They let her through. Jefferson did her job. She came through like a machine. She said she wanted to take it all. She came through and took it all. Now when it comes through, like I said, I might have that Shelly Ann Fraser-Price going away video. What's up, legendary Super Saiyan Jackson? He said, sorry, Jan Brock. But yeah, so if people got any questions about Team USA, about being a sprint nation, Okay, this is what I will say here, and people really gonna hate my ass. I don't think Jamaica's the sprint factory. I don't think Jamaica is the #1 sprint nation. Absolutely not. You could say population size and everything like that, and I just gotta purely measure it on medal count. Because at the end of the day, imagine you were going to war against one person or another one and say, well, we had 5 people and they had 200 people. And all 5 of your people are focused on this fight. Actually, let's put it this way. China has a 1 billion people population. They got nobody showing up for sprints. If it was population size, Nigeria with 230 million plus people should have, because apparently black Americans are supposedly descendants of Nigeria and Ghana. So with Nigeria and Ghana put together, you think they would have people beating the Americans, but that's not really the case. Whether they run with the USA uniform, as they occasionally do, still doesn't happen. Whether they run for their own uniform over in Nigeria and Ghana and the Ivory Coast, still typically doesn't happen. On the women's side, yeah, you get a couple of medals up in there. Unfortunately for Talu, she could never get that win because she didn't know how to lean. But hey, that's her problem, not ours. If that's the case, how come these other nations with giant populations that should have, quote unquote, similar genetics, right? That means we're our own people and our own population. We're not related to these other populations. That's what that shows right there. And also, really, it's not a population size thing. It's a talent pool thing. The USA has more talent than Jamaica does. Jamaica has its focus on track and field. Some of the best American athletes go into football because of money. Go into basketball because of money. Even my best friend and I competed in distance. And even I wasn't that motivated. I'm like, man, all of these other sports, including soccer, get paid more than the distance athletes or the runners. The runners, the track and field athletes don't get paid that much. These are conversations we had. We even had it with ourselves and was like, it's really not that serious. Now, looking at what Noah Lyles, Sydney McLaughlin, all of them are getting paid, we're looking like, yeah, that would have motivated us to have, competed back then, even if we never attained that level. Just knowing that they're opening the door and spreading it wide open that people can get paid more money, you're starting to see some of the younger athletes. Now, we're going to see it in about 6 to 7 years, what the U.S.'s true talent is. It's about that long because these are people in high school now and people in like middle school that are looking at it that will make a decision and say, maybe I don't want to do the NFL. Maybe I don't want to do the NBA. Maybe I don't want to do soccer. Because soccer is my favorite sport overall. I was a midfielder. But some people would say that Jackson, you are correct. Jamaica should have got that 4x100 record a decade ago. If Jamaica was the sprint nation that they claim, then the United States, with slower athletes under all metrics, should not have gotten that 4x100 record, or Jamaica at least should have broken it, right? With slower athletes, Bianca Knight, Allison Felix, where are they competing against any of the 100-meter athletes? Allison Felix was the 4th fastest American, right? She was the 4th fastest American, and she still could not do anything. Well, 3rd fastest because that virtual tie. But she still couldn't really light a candle to the Jamaican athletes, and yet you put her on a 4x1 with other women, and they're breaking the world record. So we just have to think about how the United States has the talent pool and everything like that. And I would argue that Jamaica probably needs to bring in other specialists that should come in, like a Ralph Mann and whatnot, to work with their athletes. I would say it would be great. It was good for Jamaica to start having their own program, yes, because when they said, hey, we're sending people like VCB over to the U.S. colleges and they're training them and they're basically developing the athletes, we're not really developing the athletes. And some of our athletes decide to stay in the U.S. Well, yeah, it was a good idea that they decided to say, you know what? We're going to have our own coaches here to do that. That's great. Now, the only thing is that if Jamaica was a talent pool, as was said, you should have more Jamaicans that will be able to replace, because they keep arguing population numbers. There is absolutely nothing that you could compare with population numbers. You got India. You got China. Those two nations got over 1 billion people. You got the whole of Africa. They got 1 billion plus people, 1.5 billion people over the whole of Africa. And if you argue and say, well, the resources and everything aren't there, now you got to make this excuse, that excuse, that excuse. We got people getting lynched and burned down, literal cities in the U.S. Over 40 cities burned down, flooded, poisoned water, and everything else. We got a military police state. They created the SWAT team to take down black Americans. We got all this adversity here. There's adversity everywhere. So, if you're going to say that Jamaica is the best sprint nation on the planet, you got to have the medal count that matches up with that. You can't have, oh, here's one athlete that represents all of Jamaica and then we're good. No, that's not how it works. Because I have to compare one last thing and then I'll go. Which nation is more of a distance nation as far as better, Ethiopia or Kenya? On the one hand, you think Ethiopia is better, and you could say they win more because they got Haile Gebrselassie, Kenenisa Bekele, you got the Dababas, whether it's Tiranish, and there was 3 Dababas. I can only remember one offhand, right? You got the other 2 Ethiopians that came after. The one that set the Rio, remember the 10,000 meter world record at Rio Olympics, and then won the world championships after that. And then you had the younger one. You said Gide. There we go. Gide. Now she's not there. She had the world record for a second. She won the 10,000. Then you got what's her name that ran for Holland that was an Ethiopian. But when you look at the list, it's literally 5 Ethiopians that basically get everything and they wind up winning. And if you take those 5 out, like when Bekele was injured and Haile wasn't there, Ethiopia couldn't even really get a medal. Mo Farah was dominating. Uganda was getting medals. Kenya was getting medals. That's kind of like how Jamaica is. But when you compare it, Kenya and Ethiopia got a similar population size. But Kenya has, Ethiopia could get 1 and 2. You look at these road races. You look at all these other ones. It's Kenya 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way through 50. So the talent pool in Kenya is much higher and much more dominant. It's just the wind will go to Ethiopia, so headlines will sometimes go there. And it's like, Ethiopia is more dominant. So I make the argument there, but the USA has both of them. The USA got the 1 through 200, or sometimes it's 2 through 200 if the USA doesn't win or something like that during Usain Bolt's era, because we got just all of those numbers throughout the rankings on World Athletics. But you got to think about who's producing the sheer number and volume of people. And it's not Jamaica. I got to just be honest. You got to look at it that way. Jamaica focuses on track and field, and track and field for the U.S. is kind of like it's something else to do. If it's a focus, it'll be like India. You know, that one javelin dude, man, this dude be getting 5 million views a video. He got 5 million views. I don't even know if he competing this season. But this dude, every year during the championship, they upload past videos of this man doing the javelin. This dude, 5-6 million views. They're focusing dead on the javelin. They got other people coming up after this guy to focus on the javelin. So that's where we're at. Okay, you said 2026 Rio, Jamaica had every right to break the world record. 2021 and 2022. Yes, that's where I started this channel in 2021. I hyped up Jamaica to all get out, thinking that Jamaica was going to break the world record. I'm like, okay, you got Shelly Ann doing a 1063. You got an Elaine coming here doing a 10.6 at the Olympic final. You got Sharika Jackson running a 10.7 at that final. And then you had Brianna Williams the unknown quantity, to be honest, right, is what she gonna do. They couldn't get close to the world record in 2021. That was the best time to do it. Then people were like, well, they weren't focusing on exchange. Man, they act like they didn't even like each other. It was kind of that public. And then 2022, another chance to do it. Another year down the belt. And both Elaine and Shelly Ann faster that year than the year before. Nothing. I'm like, whoa. How you gonna be calling yourself a sprint nation and you can't get, or a short sprint nation, I'll put it that way, a short sprint nation, and you can't get the relay record like that? Something's going on. Team USA for that decade was getting it bad because of handoffs, not because of the talent necessarily, but hey, you know what? You ain't on the board, you ain't on the board. But Jamaica, come the hell on. You gotta be able to do it. Even when Usain Bolt and the rest of them could not have good handoffs because of how awkward some of those things were, they still got the world record. So y'all gotta be able to... Hold on, let me see something here. Uh-oh, might be buffering. Am I buffering? Okay, yeah. But yeah. They said, happy to see World Athletics on DraftKings now money. Man, all these people are opening up to gambling. I really don't like it necessarily. But hey, whatever can help make some more money for them, it's all good for them. Because I said, you know what? We need to be able to open up sports betting for track and field in order to increase the acceptance rate amongst other people. That's good on the one hand. But on the other hand, it's too many people gambling. Gambling is now being more pervasive. I understand why China banned it. But yeah, because it ain't really going to help people that much. Thoughts on the 800 meter men's final. Man, if Donovan Brazier takes this win, I'm going to freak out unless it already happened. Let me check because I didn't see that. I just watched the 200s and I'm like, look, I ain't really concerned with nothing else right now. I'm looking at these 200s. Yes, I understand you got the 400 hurdles and everything like that. But yeah. For if Donovan Brazier takes this whole thing, I'm going to freak out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to freak out. Because that men's 800 is so packed up. Let me see. Rachel Childress, shout out to you. You said the regular Diamond League should be there on there too. Track would instantly be more popular. Yeah. We're going to see a lot of things here. Let me see something real quick. But yeah, I might do another live stream. I might not. Botswana looks like, I may as well give my final thoughts on stuff while I'm going out. Botswana look like they might have this 4x4 men's side wrapped up. But you got a Rye Benjamin that could go, 42, 41. You have a... But other than that, I'm like, dang, what's up with the men? Actually, that's what I meant to say. You got Rye Benjamin. And where the heck are the other men in that 400? And I'm like, Patterson faded in that 400. I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know. I'm going to have a separate video on this for the people that made it this far into the video. I'm going to have a separate video on this because I wanted to do this about Grand Slam track. But I may as well say it here for the people that are listening to this far on the post-recording or the live stream. Michael Johnson. What the heck? I didn't expect this to happen. As far as that, I thought it was going to be a really good competition to Diamond League. But the fact that he said we secured the funds and yet somebody was still able to pull out without a penalty attached to them, that means you didn't really have the funds. Because when I get some funds together, I got the funds. Like, I got the funds. They got it in my bank. You ain't pulling it out other than you got a 25% penalty fee or early termination thing in the contract, just like they have with the NFL or something. They terminate that. They got to have a minimum payout for them. Where is the minimum payout, Michael Johnson, that you should have secured from the people from Grand Slam track? What was that? Like, you can't run out of money like that. Now, one thing I said, and I'm going to double down and triple down on this. It should not have started in Jamaica. That makes no damn sense. Should have never did. I made a post about it. I said it from the beginning last year. It should not start in Jamaica. Why should it not start in Jamaica? Because people do not show up in the crowds in Jamaica for their own athletes. It just don't happen. That's no offense. It's just facts. Anybody want to get offended? You're just arguing against reality. Jamaica does not show up and pack the crowds. The other track meets in the U.S., because it's a new track and field league, it's still not going to be packed out. That's just the nature of the sport, number one. And number two, it's not going to be packed out. It's a new league. People are like, what the heck is this? It sounds kind of wonky. It sounds kind of cool. Who knows? It's still not going to be packed out. And in the U.S., it still wasn't packed out. It's going to have more people than Jamaica. I can tell you that much. That's the whole point. Jamaica will be like crickets, and the other places will be like, it's kind of like people not there. Like what happened. And the guy said he pulled out because Jamaica had nobody in the stands. And the way I'm looking at this, I don't really care. Here's two thoughts on it. I don't really care